Hi there, it's Simone. I'm so glad you're here today with me to look at my newest fountain pen acquisition. It is, of course, maybe the Twsbi Eco in the Cerulean blue. That is one of my favorite colors, so I knew I had to have it. But this time I went and purchased or pre-ordered my pen from Spear over at PenRealm, and I pre-ordered it with a special nib grind onto this pen. Let me just quickly tell you a tiny bit about PenRealm. Spear is a nib smith who offers pens and nib grinding services over on his website. The first time I saw him was at the San Francisco Pen Show, where my friends had appointments with him to get their nibs smoothed and ground. I did not have an appointment with him then because I didn't really know much about nib grinds. I still don't know a lot, but at the show there was a special fountain pen offered by Enigma Blanks, and the nib was ground by, not by PenRealm. I'm blanking on the nib smith. Gina something. I will put it on the screen right here, and I tested that nib and I was very intrigued by the way it wrote. And so yeah, so when you purchase a pen from Kirk, you can actually choose the option for him to tune your nib for free when you purchase that. And that is something that I will keep in mind for the future, because I have had several pens that didn't really, I wasn't sure, is it me? Is it the ink? Is it the pen? So when you have the nib tuned, you can eliminate one of those options. So it's either the ink or you, but never the pen most of the time when you purchase an already tuned nib. So however, I did actually choose a special nib grind, and I will show you that in a second. But let's take an actual look at the pen. As you can see, I don't know if you can see the cat hair in here. I have already opened this and looked at it, but I haven't inked it up. I haven't tested it out. It comes in this plastic box as usual. There is the Twsbi wrench here, and then there is some silicone grease. You can use that to make this part move up and down more smoother, especially when you're using it very often. Then sometimes this gets really hard to turn up and down, and so if that happens, this is really helpful. You can also use this when you eyedropper a pen. So here's the color, and unfortunately I don't know what I have to do in order for this color to come out the way it looks to my eye and not on screen. I think it's more blue on screen. This has a green yellow tint. I will, just for comparison, even though both of those colors don't come across the way they're supposed to be, it still helps you to see that this cyan color from the Kaweco collection is darker. I think this leans a bit more towards yellow right here than this. These definitely, color-wise, these both are my favorite pens for sure. I wanted to show you my growing Twsbi collection. Actually, it's not really that bad. I mean, what is bad? I really enjoy them. So of course I want more. And this is not inked right now, but I have most of them inked currently. So here is the whole set that I currently own. So I own 6 Twsbi Eco pens. 2 are in the Twsbi Eco T. No, 3 actually, 2. These 2 are Eco Ts. They have triangular. T stands for triangular. Their grip section is a bit different than the regular Eco. And I am currently trying to grow this collection very slowly. I want a broad nib that I already own. Then I would like to get, I do have 2 medium nib sizes right here. Then I think this should be, oh, I don't have a nib, but I have an F nib. Then I have an extra fine that is permanently inked with platinum carbon black. So I would like to add one more to my collection, which would be then an extra fine. And then this one is a specialty nib grind. So I talked about this just before. I tested out a reverse architect nib at the pen show. I liked it. I wasn't sure if that's something that I wanted, but my friend actually got a reverse architect nib ground onto a Twsbi at the pen show. And when I met her later, I was able to write with that pen, and I really enjoyed the writing experience. So I decided, you know what? The next time that I want a Twsbi, maybe I can get it from Kirk and then have that ground onto this nib. And then the Cerulean blue was announced, and I had the opportunity much faster than I thought I would. So what is a reverse architect nib? I am reading the description on Kirk's page. It is a wide cross stroke and a narrow downstroke on the reverse side. And extra fine to ultra extra fine on the forward side. So here is a writing example that Kirk made on the Mnemosine with Iroshizuku Fuyu Shogun. I got interrupted, so I want to pair these two because I would like to use this ink in my next ink rotation. I swatched it in a recent video. More recent, less recent than others here. I am typically not a fan of the regular blue inks, but I would love to give this ink another try, or the color a try, and see how it works for me. And what better pen to put it in than a pen that I'm very excited about, so that I am hopefully getting a lot of use out of this ink and of this pen, and I can form a better opinion about this color and this ink. Alrighty, this is a piston mechanism, if you haven't heard yet, and you fill it by submerging the nib into the ink bottle or ink vial. If it is not enough ink, there is lots of tricks that you can do. If you're not familiar with Chris Sainz, I highly recommend watching her videos. She's a fountain pen enthusiast and shares all of her knowledge on YouTube as well. And I have learned lots of things. I did not purchase anything yet, but I would love to try. She shared one of those where you get a hose, tiny hose, and put it on here and then put the ink in here and then suck it up into the fountain pen. I would really love to try that. I just haven't gone to Lowe's yet and purchased the is it called hose? It's probably not. I will have to look it up and put it here on the screen, but that's a tangent anyway, so I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Let's see if I can get it all the way down so it actually sucks up some ink. Yep, I think that's all that I need. It's probably way too much already. I usually have 9 inked fountain pens in my ink rotations. This month I have more, and I notice because I just don't get to use each pen to its maximum, and so the ink capacity in here is probably already way too much. So done with that. Then let me take that. I'm really scared. What if it doesn't work the way I expect and hope it? But let's trust this. All right, this is Twsbi Eco Cerulean Blue. I probably should have specified how fine I want the nib to be on the right side. This is almost too fine for me. This is probably an extra fine. But where is the architect? Well, you turn the whole nib around and do reverse writing. So let's see. Oh my goodness. Can you hear the smoothness? Twsbi Eco Cerulean Blue. Well then, this is the R for reverse architect. So let me architect. The downstrokes. I'm probably not holding it at the correct angle. There we go. Downstroke. What are those called? Cross strokes. So with a stub nib, I do have one inked, so I can like grab that and show it to you. This is a stub nib. Let's hope it writes. This is a Lamy 1.1 stub. What you have is the exact opposite. So the downstrokes are broad or wide, and then the cross strokes are narrow. And it's the Lamy. It's a whole different way of writing for sure. This ink would probably look amazing in this pen though. What do you say? I think I need a bottle of this. This is Robert Oster Blue Moon. The only thing that's keeping me from getting a bottle is that it is actually a shimmering ink, which I didn't know when I put the ink sample into this pen. So with the regular writing, the strokes are super fine. Like so, and it actually has a bit of tooth and a bit of feedback, like so. And the ink is Monteverde Horizon Blue. I'm enjoying. I don't. So what would you use this nib for? I don't know. Just for fun, maybe? That's basically why I got this nib. Simone loves playing. I just want to experiment, explore the upgrade for this. So the pen was 32 something, let's say 33. and then the nib grind is $50. So the grind was more expensive than the pen, which is totally okay for me because this is my experimentation phase. I'd rather pay more than the pen costs for a nib grind that I'm not 100% sure about. I want to experiment. I want to understand what works for me, what I like, what I don't like. Then pay $50 to get a nib grind where you might think it's more worth it because the pen was more expensive. So the amount you pay for the grind is less in comparison. But then what if it doesn't work for you? What if you don't really like it? Do you sell the pen? Yeah, you could sell the pen. But with this, for example, I sent Kirk a photo of the way that I hold my pen so that he could determine the writing angle. So it's specifically made for me. Yes, there are people who probably have the same writing angle for me, but their writing experience will be different than my writing experience. So I really justifying getting a nib grind that is more expensive than the pen, essentially. The reasons I just told you, and I stand behind that for sure. So before I filmed this video, just to understand more what I'm talking about, I did some research and I found a 2-part series on nibs, nib grinds, regular nibs as well, like just medium, fine to broad nibs. That was written by Anna from the Well-Appointed Desk, and I will link that series down below. You can check it out. It's very informative and gives you a really good overview of all the things that you can consider or will consider when purchasing a fountain pen in essence. And then what options are there when you're into the hobby a bit deeper, how you would where you can go from there. I think that's all that I wanted to show you today. Here is the information for the PenRealm. You can definitely check out his Instagram. It's PenRealm. And then the website is penrealm.com. I was enticed to pre-order this pen through Instagram, so that's definitely a good place to keep up with him. And this is the specifications on my pen. I ordered a Twsbi Eco with a broad nib, and then he did the customization on that broad nib. So it is a reverse architect, 50 degrees. It's down 0.25 and cross 0.28. So now I would need to understand what that actually means. Maybe the angle or we'll see. And then customized by Kirk Spear. I will definitely keep that somewhere so that I can refer to it at a later date. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.